So we're gonna drain the transmission fluid in the 2014 Nissan Altima, or 2012 Nissan Altima CVT. There's your drain plug right there. This one's got the plug. You can just pull the plug, drain the fluid, put the same amount of fluid back in. It's pretty straightforward. Some of them you have to drop the entire pan because it has no plug on it, but this is a Gen 4.5, so they have the drain plug on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it, drain it, then measure how much comes out, and then I'm gonna put that much back in, and that should be it. Pretty quick and easy. All right, so the plug's out. It is a 19 mil plug. There's the plug right there, and now we're just letting it drain out. Just remember, when you drain it, always measure how much comes out, put that much back in. So it's still draining right now, but it's down to a trickle now. Just wanted to say something though about your drain plug. Always check your gasket, that little brass gasket there. Be sure it's not fouled up or anything. Clean it off real good, but always take a look at the top of it for metal shavings or any type of evidence of metal shavings or any kind of stuff like that, because that can kind of be an indicator of what might be going on inside the transmission you might not know about yet. Also, when you're pouring out your fluid to measure it, you know, pour it in there and just kind of look in your measuring cup or whatever after you pour it out of there, just to see if there's any kind of metal shavings or anything in there too. Again, that's just making sure you kind of know what's going on in there. You're not gonna be surprised by anything. So in total, I got about 4.25 quarts of CVT fluid out of it. So this is what I'm going to be putting back into it. It's the Nissan NS2. There's your part number right there. I bought it off of eBay. I got 5 quarts for, it was like 60 bucks. It wasn't bad. Normally they're like 14 or 15 bucks a quart, so you get a little bit of a discount. Took them about a week to ship it here, which is fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put 4 and just a hair more in through the dipstick tube. This is the only way to fill it back up. You get you a nice funnel that'll fit down in there. Put that in there, crank up the car, let it run for a few minutes, and then check the fluid level again. You know, see if you're gonna need to put any more in there. It should be pretty good with that. And it's got pretty good markings on the dipstick. It tells you exactly where to, you know, you should have the fluid. Usually in between that little cross-hatched area right there. Shouldn't focus. Yeah, right in there. You want it, if it's in that cross-hatch area, you're good. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it up and then take a look at it. I'll let you get a look at the color of this stuff. Like a nice green, light green color. The fluid that I took out was pretty much like a brown. Kind of see that. It's kind of hard to see, like a golden brown. That's what came out of it. But the new stuff should be that nice light pale greenish color like that. I just got that AutoZone or something. I bought that funnel. Fits down in there pretty nice. Just got to pour it kind of slow because it'll back up in the dipstick tube and start pouring out right there if you're not careful. And as much as this crap costs, you don't want to lose any of it. So I put the 4 quarts in. Let's take a quick look at it. I haven't turned it on yet or anything, but it's right there at the top of that cross hatching. Like I said, when you turn it on, it's going to allow everything to start circulating in there, and then you'll know whether or not you need to put more in, because it's going to have to go into the transmission cooler and all that other stuff. So you might be, you know, a little bit low. It's fine.
just pull your dipstick out, throw a little bit more in there, and just keep checking it. This car has about 86,000 miles on this transmission, and this is the first time I've changed it. I'm not changing it because it's, you know, causing any trouble or anything. It isn't slipping or anything like that. I just wanted to get it done because around this time is about when you should change the fluid in these cars. Some people flush. I talk about flushing the transmission. I wouldn't recommend flushing the transmission in one of these. There's a lot of places where the fluid collects inside of the transmission and among those belts and the chains in there, and flushing it washes all that stuff out. So the first time you crank it up and you start driving, all that stuff's, you know, it's trying to get the oil back in it so it's dry. Could cause some trouble. But that's basically it. Really easy job. I just used a 19 mil wrench to get the plug off, a measuring cup to measure how much fluid came out, put that same amount back in, just a funnel, put it back in, should be good to go. That's a CVT fluid change on a Nissan Altima 2012.